impromptu live video discussing the Forex watch list. Now, just a little disclaimer. If you haven't watched the channel before, welcome. I've noticed there are a few new subscribers. So from 300 to 317 or whatever we're at right now, I do appreciate that. And for the people that are watching this new, I'm Scott Andrews. I call myself a novice Forex trader. I'm just in the car going to the gym. It's Sunday morning, about 8:40. So it's the gym, then off to work for a few hours, a bit of overtime. And look, so just a little bit about myself. I'm a trend trader. I first started learning Forex with Walter Peters off his forum, Naked Forex Now. And if you are, I'm not paid to say that or anything, but yeah, I learned from Walter Peters. So he's big on psychology of trading. So, and I've read a lot of books, obviously, because obviously there's a lot out there, these days. It's just, the problem with trading these days is there's just so much information out there. So, if you're brand new to trading and you don't know where to start, what I would say is learn how to backtest, learn how to use that software. I've got a video on that. Just search for Forex backtesting. So I've got a lot of videos on how to do that, how to use it. Everything's for free, guys. I'm not here selling anything. Maybe later down the track, Connor and I have discussed maybe a website possibly, just to really, there's just so much noise out there. But anyway, so that's who I am. I'm a trend trader. Current trades, I sold the Aussie dollar at 71.03. I actually, now if you do follow the channel, you would have seen me sell the Aussie dollar at 72.60. And I got out of that. I had to take profit. And it was a 1 hour trade that I took on the 1 hour time frame, sorry. So it didn't take 1 hour, it took about a day. And I closed that out. And yeah, it's fallen to, so I left a little bit of money on the table there, but that's life sometimes. I mean, it was up against the support level at 71.80 odd. It's cracked through that. And I pretty much sold at the low of that candle on the daily chart. If you've got the charts up, you'll see. I think the low was less than 71. It might have been 70.97. So we haven't seen these levels in 3 years. I think it's literally 3 years. So it's significant. In regards to a target for the Aussie dollar, 68.50 for me is the next major support level. Now, what the Aussie dollar does really well is go sideways. So, I would say, but who knows? I mean, massive candle on the daily, you're going to see a bit of a pullback tomorrow. So if you have sold it, it's going to rally a little bit because there's going to be dip buys and reversal traders and things like that. But it's just got so much room to go. If you bring it up on a weekly chart and you draw that line at 71.88, next one is 68.50, that's a lot of room to fall. That's it's really wants to go to the races nearly. So we'll see how that one goes. Now, other setups, not the Swissy yen, the New Zealand Swissy. Now that's a potential trend continuation as well. So I've actually taken 2% on this Aussie sell trade. So, am I comfortable having 4% floating risk? I would do it. And that's probably the limit. I've tried 6% at once, and I wasn't particularly comfortable with that. So I won't be doing that again. But yeah, definitely I see potential with the New Zealand Swissy. Now, that's a nice downtrend as well. There is a support level sort of coming up. I can't remember figures, but that it's not as nice a setup as the Aussie dollar. So yeah, now euro weakened a little bit. Everything weakened on the positive NFP data. There was good unemployment out of the US on Friday. So we'll see what this week brings. Now it is interesting. I think it was Friday as well. Donald Trump announced potentially. So he's got the 200 billion tariffs in place, and then he's talking about potentially 200 billion more for China. So it's like, Donald, man, like, wow. So it's a bit of a dynamic situation. Now, will that be favorable for the US? Well, probably not. I think what he's doing is he's just squeezing China a little bit and seeing, what they're going to do. It makes it a little challenging though, because it can affect the US dollar a little bit. So I think things are looking peachy. And then, oh, that's a nice looking car. Man, it is a gorgeous day in Perth too. Sunny, beautiful, anyway. So it's a dynamic situation, and it's a crazy time to be a trader as well when you've got moves like, the Aussie dollar. And if you are absolutely brand new to trading as well, you really don't know where to start, you have to remember, so when I first started, it went like this. Walter was like, okay, Scott, you're going to backtest a lot. I'm like, backtesting? What is that? And Walter has about 1,000 people on his website. They pay him around $100 a month. Okay, so, he's a pretty good teacher. He knows what he's talking about. So the man's making a lot of money just from teaching itself. So is he the best trader? I don't know. Some track records out there from 2011, Connor found those. I don't think we did a video about that, but you don't necessarily have to be the best trader to be the best teacher. So if you're looking back at his track record personally for Walter Peters, I don't think he's the best trader, but very good teacher. I did a mastermind with him in Sydney. It was $1,500. It was 2 days. It's just, you sort of have to spend a little bit of money on education. You gotta realize that. Like if you're going to be a pilot or a doctor or something, I'm just using those professions because you can make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money out of trading. So, I don't know what a medical degree costs. It's probably over $100,000 and a lot of time spent. So you have to realize you're not going to roll straight into trading and be a savant and a guru and just win straight away. You can though. But in the long run, if you don't have the right system and if you just really don't have any idea what you're doing, statistically speaking, you will start losing. You won't know how to manage those losses, and you can lose a lot of money very quickly in trading. So back to my point, if you're brand new to trading, I had urgency to make money when I first started because, there was goals in place. Like if you double the demo account, you go to a small live account. You double the small live account, you go to, a bigger account. So I was trying to double the small live account. I did a little bit of demo trading, not enough. I didn't do enough back testing. So, and then, I lost, 60% of the small account. It was only $500, but I got it up to about 800. And I was like, I didn't really know what I was doing. So the easiest thing you can do in trading is lose money. The statistics vary from what source you refer to, with how many people blow up accounts and whatnot. It'd be a lot though. It'd be 9 out of 10 people. And a lot of people aren't going to acknowledge, like I tried trading Forex or whatever and blew up. Because Forex is probably not as hard as, intraday stock trading, like US equities. I've sort of learned how to do that as well. I don't do that as much. Now, if you're a long time follower of the channel, I think I did make a video on this. So like why I haven't been doing, because I'm a Tim Sykes student, still, I'm still on Profitly and things like that. And you're probably asking, Scott, why, haven't even been posting stuff. It's more the scanners. It's honestly $250 a month for me to properly day trade or intraday trade. So there's another thing that's happening. It's not, in a couple of weeks I'm going to Sydney to try for a prop firm, Star Beta. So prop trading, that's not a salary. So I've just been saving money, and I wasn't live trading in the US equity market either, because again, it's just more money, like if you want a demo trade, you have to have money in an account. I was using stocks to trade, which was a project put together with Tim Bowen and Tim Sykes, and not a bad thing, but it would crash a lot. I'm like, well, 2 weeks out of the month I could actually properly day trade just with my work schedule, and sometimes 3, but for the 3rd week it would mean I'd be very sleep deprived for work the next morning. So I sort of didn't do that. I learned that wasn't the way to go. So it was just a lifestyle thing, and where was the money being directed in the best possible way? And I think Star Beta do trade US equities as well. So that's why I haven't been. I've got enough fuel. Just checking the fuel. Yeah, so that's why I haven't been posting as much, US equity stuff and more Forex stuff, because Forex, for a beginner trader, it's very accessible. You don't have to have a scanner. Simple is best for Forex. Like, you don't want to run all these freaking indicators all the time. Like, the very best traders I've encountered have all kept it simple. You want to keep it simple. You don't want to complicate things, because you can start having conflicting biases when it comes to whose fault it was for the losing trade, because you could say, oh, this confirmed this, and had confluence and correlations and things like that. You just got to, the markets will do what the markets do, and the best indicator is really price action, because the indicators use price action. That's, and then they'll project a algorithm or a line or whatever. So, they have their place. You just have to be a little bit disciplined, that's all. You can't just sort of run all these indicators and get all this confirmation and then sort of be disgruntled when it doesn't work out. Because, the market can be irrational longer than you can remain solvent. I don't know who made that quote, but it's very relevant. You've got to sort of be aware that, for example, the euro US dollar, with the turbulence in Turkey, Argentina, Venezuela, all that sort of stuff, and there's been prevailing US dollar strength mostly. The euro rallied. It was like mid-August after it sold off, and you're like probably thinking to yourself, like, what is going on here? Well, that's the thing. Like, you just have to cop that and go, well, my thesis wasn't right. I want to make money. I didn't buy the euro though, because I didn't have a setup, but I'm just saying that's an example from recent trading that I've noticed, because I did sell the euro. I think I sold the euro earlier in August, and it wasn't too. No, I didn't. No. It was a losing trade. So yeah, and it was pretty good price action, but at the same time, you just you can't win all the trades. Like, I wish, all the analysis and all the work you put in could sort of mean guaranteed winner, but it sort of doesn't in trading. It's one of these bizarre things. Like, you could put in a really good week of work, analyzing setups and things like that, and nothing comes to fruition. And then one week you don't do a lot of work. You just sort of go, oh, that's a setup. You take the trade, and that could be the biggest trade of the year. So it's a weird thing, trading. It's not like a normal job or anything like that. If you are interested in trading, just leave a comment. I'll send you a couple of videos on, how to use Forex Tester. Really, there are other programs out there. I'm not familiar with those. So if you're saying I use this software, if you use a back testing software and you find it okay to use, then that's excellent. Keep doing what you're doing, because as a real raw beginner trader, you shouldn't really just dive into the live markets with no awareness, no idea of what you're doing, because it's weird. Anyone can really start trading, especially Forex, because the account size is so small, and you've got that margin you can play with. And I don't actually use margin either. I don't use leverage. And you can if you really want to, but I'm just not an aggressive type of trader. That's just who I am. I'm more of a conservative type, and I don't just want to roll into doing that sort of stuff. But you can, and people do it. And if you're inclined to do that, there's an opportunity. But it's, at the same time, it means you can lose a lot more money very quickly as well. And if you have any understanding of Forex, you'll see that things can change very quickly. So it can look good, especially if you're in the lower time frames, because it seems a lot of people push the lower time frames. And for a beginner trader, I would say that's probably not the way to go. Number one, you're more vulnerable to market manipulation, stop hunting, if you do run a stop loss. But really, if you are trading and you don't really have a plan, again, you should probably stop. But look, yeah, so that's the watch list. Really, the watch list is the New Zealand Swissy for now. I scanned the charts quite extensively last night. I didn't make a video. I was watching the Joe Rogan, Elon Musk podcast that he does. It's quite insightful. Elon's a pretty interesting sort of guy, really. But yeah, it was just, he's just a guy. I don't think he ever stops. I don't know if he sleeps. It sounds like he does so much, but yeah. So there wasn't really anything that caught my attention. The Euro US dollar, where it is currently, it's more a sell than a buy, but I'm not just going to jump in and sell it though at the same time. The pound is, it's interesting, but it's not good enough for a buy trade. There was good positive news recently, Brexit related, but where it is now, it's not. It hasn't started uptrending enough for me to say I'd buy that. So no move on the pound. The New Zealand US dollar, the Kiwi, that is also interesting. So I could potentially sell that. Now, I mean, what I'd be doing there, I would probably take 1% on that though. Ideally, the Aussie dollar just collapses and I can move the stop loss to break even, pretty quickly. But the problem with the Aussie dollar trade that I've done is I took the stop at 72.36. It's it's about 130 pips. So we're going to have to see the Aussie dollar get to 69. It's going to be significant falling for me to move the stop loss to break even. So what I might say is the New Zealand dollar might be a 1% trade. The main reason for that is I don't want to go and be 4% long the US dollar. That's all. So I will do some chart analysis tomorrow, probably during the European session. So that's probably going to be about 4 p.m. Perth time or 6 p.m. Sydney time. And I'll just go over the setups and see. You want to see what's happened on the Monday, and what the US dollar is doing and things like that. But it looks like overall the US economy is going okay. Wage growth is pretty stagnant, but we'll see. I sold the Aussie dollar more as a technical play. So I sold into that weakness that was shown on the daily candle, and I didn't really overthink it. I've been watching and I've been talking about it for some time. So yeah. Anyway, guys, that's probably going to be the video. I didn't see too much in regards to setups last night. Overall, the theme seems to be the US dollar ended the week pretty strong. So I'll be watching more for buy trades than anything on the majors. But again, what I do want to see is, are they in a trend? And good price action. So I want to see a candle close near its high for a buy trade. I don't want to just to buy into something. I've learned that that's really not the way to go, and things can, especially if it's bad price action, even if fundamentally things are okay in regards to the US economy, things can still get very choppy, and it just adds up. You sort of want to have the probabilities in your favor. You don't want to just sort of get into a trade on bad price action because a minor reversal could be there, and then your capital's not really being efficiently utilized because you're in a trade that really isn't doing anything, and it's a little frustrating. So I'm going to conclude it there, guys. Again, thank you for watching. Bye for now, and proper chart analysis will be tomorrow night. Bye, guys.